Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Premier League review show on Football Talk podcast. My name is Ozzie, and I'm your host for this evening. A very interesting match week as we had two fixtures involving the top six facing each other. Liverpool comfortably beat Newcastle 2-0. Arsenal were unable to break the deadlock as they drew 0-0 against Forest. Man City narrowly beat Tottenham 1-0, and Chelsea thumped Southampton 4-0. So let's start the show with the first game as we head over to Anfield. And what a dominant performance from the Reds as they beat Newcastle 2-0. The goal came very early as Diaz cuts back a pass towards Szoboszlai, who hits a first time left footed finish through Burns' legs to make it 1-0. Alan Wilson produced probably Newcastle's best chance of the whole game as he's through on goal. Unfortunately, he gets his connection all wrong as his shot goes high and wide. Then in the second half, Salah provides the assist for McAllister, who smashes the ball right into the top corner to make it 2-0. But overall, a great win for Liverpool. Honestly, the victory was never in doubt as Newcastle didn't really pose a threat in the game. Both teams face each other in a few weeks' time in the Carabao Cup final, so Newcastle will need to improve drastically if they are to win the trophy. But this victory extends the lead at the top for Liverpool to 13 points. Now, Liverpool just seem unstoppable at this stage, and as I said last week, it appears that we have one hand on the Premier League trophy. Title number 20 is almost home. Now, on to the next fixture. Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal. Dear me, what happened here, Arsenal? I thought you guys were going to give Liverpool a real fight for the title. Looks like the white towel has definitely been thrown in as they suffer a setback in their title challenge. It ended goalless at the City ground. But let's discuss some of the key moments in the game. Forest had a penalty shout as Hudson-Odoi was running rings around Calafiori on that right side. He arrives in the box and Calafiori very cleverly nudges the winger who falls to ground. Nottingham Forest players are shouting for a penalty, but if I'm being honest, I don't think it was. It would have been too soft if that was given. And speaking of Calafiori, he almost got on the score sheet himself as he finds himself in a very advanced position. He cuts in from the left side and hits a right footed shot towards the goal. He ends up smashing the post. So very unlucky there for the defender. In the second half, Marino has a header towards goal that was parried away by the goalkeeper. Chris Wood almost scores for Forest, but Raya was in hand to make the crucial block. That's pretty much it. That was the key moments of the game. Arsenal have been dealt with a blow to their title race. And for me, if I'm being honest, I feel like it's all over now. Mikel Arteta can quote Drake songs and say, "Over my dead body," but let's be honest, Mikel Pulis flopped this season, in my opinion. He tried to play stock ball and it completely backfired. But the big question is, especially for Arsenal fans, what does this mean for Arteta? Should he be given more time to try and bring the trophy home? He has blown away £700 million, or is it time for Arsenal to go into a new direction and make a different appointment in the summer? Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. Next fixture, Tottenham versus Man City. City just about secured the win in a game that has presented problems to them in the previous seasons, and it didn't take very long as Doku effortlessly squares the ball to Haaland in the 6 yard box, and it was pretty much a tap in for the Norwegian striker. He ends up scoring his 20th goal of the season, which is, of course, a landmark for every striker in the league. City applied more pressure and probably should have got a second goal, but Savinho wasn't on target as a couple of his shots went over the bar. In the second half, Spurs did try to step it up and were throwing a lot of jabs and punches to Man City. Son had probably the closest chance where he slid in and hit a shot towards the goal that was parried away by Edison. But late in the game, Papa Sarr had a chance to get the equaliser with a header, and it was at point blank range. But unfortunately, he was just not able to keep the ball down and went over the bar. So Tottenham's three-game winning streak has come to an end, but City take the 3 points and remain in fourth place. Next fixture, Chelsea versus Southampton. What a huge win for Chelsea as they demolished Southampton 4-0. So let's go through the goals. And Cuckoo opens the scoreline with a brave diving header. Pedro Neto smashes in a low shot to make it 2-0. Powell then scores a bullet header from Neto's free kick to make it 3-0. And an unlikely goal scorer in Cucurella, who makes it 4-0 with a finish in the bottom corner. Chelsea look like they are applying a lot of pressure on Man City as they're only 1 point behind fourth. So the race for top four isn't concluded, and there will be lots of twists and turns as the season goes on. Next fixture, Manchester United versus Ipswich Town. Let's be honest, they just about scraped through a win um, with a 3-2 victory. The game started awfully for the Red Devils as new signing Dogu and Onana got in a bit of a mix-up that leads to Philogene being through on goal and scoring the easiest goal of his career to make it 1-0. Then unfortunately Sam Morsey ends up scoring an own goal to make the score 1-1. De Ligt ends up scoring a close range shot to make it 2-1 for United. And Dogu's afternoon gets from bad to worse as he gets sent off for his reckless challenge on Omari Hutchinson. Ipswich, then moments later, level the score with another Philogene goal by Harry Maguire. Another unlikely of match winners scores a header to make it 3-2 and add 3 points on the board. Manchester United can breathe a sigh of relief now as they're slowly getting away from the relegation zone, which I'm sure will please the fan base at this stage. Obviously, I say that with tongue in cheek. In terms of other games, Crystal Palace versus Aston Villa. Now, for me, this has to be regarded as the surprise result of the week as Palace beat Villa with a huge scoreline of 4-1. So let's go through some of the goals. Ismaila Sarr opens the score sheet with a rebound finish. Rodgers has scored a tap in and unfortunately was ruled out for offside. And honestly, unfortunately, it was literally millimeters. But in the second half, he equalizes for Villa with a spin and left footed finish. Mateta then gives Palace the lead with a smashing effort on goal. Ismail Assar then makes it 3-1 and scores his second goal of the game. And then Ketia scores his first Premier League goal for Palace with a tap in to secure all 3 points. Next fixture, Brighton versus Bournemouth. What a victory for the Seagulls, who have now won 3 games on the bounce. Brighton win a penalty after João Pedro is taken out by Kepa. Pedro steps up and smashes it low to make it 1-0. Justin Kluivert, it's not his first time, scores an absolute screamer to make it 1-1. What a finish it was. But the winning goal came through the veteran, Danny Welbeck, who's just come off the bench and has an instant impact on the game. Brighton remain in 8th place in the league. Next fixture, Wolves versus Fulham. What a great win for the away team as Fulham secured 2-1 victory. Sessegnon scores the first goal with a neat finish in the bottom corner. João Gomez gets the equaliser for Wolves with a thumping half volley. But it was Muniz who gets the match winner, and what a goal it was. He produces a delightful dink over the keeper. So, he's definitely scored that goal with style, and that puts Fulham in 9th place in the league. Next fixture, Brentford versus Everton. Brentford will feel slightly disappointed with the result as the game ended 1-1 against Everton. Wissa opens the scoreline with a close range header. Everton applied pressure and got their reward in the end as Jacob Bryan scores a diving header to equal the score. Beto, who has been in great form in recent weeks, wasn't wearing his shooting boots for this one as he had a number of chances in the game, but in particular, he had a chance in the final minutes of the game. He's through on goal, completely makes a big hash of the finish and misses the target. You had Alcaraz screaming and shouting for the ball in the 6-yard box, but the ball never came, and he pretty much let his frustration out by kicking the ball onto the advertisement board. So Everton will feel disappointed that they didn't get the winner, but I think Brentford will feel like they should have got the win early in the game. So in the end, both teams have to settle for a point. And the final fixture of Matchweek 27, and that is West Ham versus Leicester City. This was the game played on Monday night that ended with the home team cruising past a struggling Leicester City. Suchek opens the scoreline with a tapping from a few yards out, and then Jared Bowen makes it 2-0 as he just about squeezed the ball to find the back of the net and secure the win for the Hammers. So that is the match review of match week 27. In terms of the FPL, unfortunately, I can't announce who our FPL manager of the week is, as the points tally haven't been concluded on the app due to the fact that West Ham and Leicester City game just finished about a couple of hours ago. So what I'll do on the next show, I'll announce the winner of this week, and then I'll also confirm the winner of the following episode as well. But what we can do before we close the show, we can review the upcoming fixtures. It's not taking place this weekend. It will be taking place next weekend. But, it's customary for us to go through the upcoming fixtures. So we'll do that right now. So let's present the fixtures here. So this is for match week 28. Let me make the screen a bit bigger for you guys. So here we go. So the first game is Nottingham Forest versus Man City, third place versus fourth. It's going to be an interesting battle, to say the least. I think this game will end in a draw. Forest are very strong at home. I don't think they will get beaten in this fixture, so I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. And Brighton versus Fulham, pretty much two informed teams right now. Maybe I'm being a bit on the fence. I'm going to go for another draw. So I'm going to say it's going to end a 2-2 result. Crystal Palace versus Ipswich. I think Palace will get the win after a great result against Villa. And it was at Selhurst Park as well. So for me, it's going to be a 2-1 victory for the Eagles. Liverpool versus Southampton. I'm expecting a cricket score, if I'm being brutally honest. I'm going to go for a 4-0 victory for the Reds. Brentford versus Aston Villa. This is going to be a tricky affair. I'm going to give the win to Brentford, and it's going to be a narrow win. It's going to be a 1-0 result for me. Wolves versus Everton, two teams fighting around that relegation zone. I think Wolves will get the victory. I think it's going to end 2-1. Chelsea versus Leicester City. Leicester City have been in abysmal form in recent weeks. Chelsea just demolished Southampton 4-0. I'm probably going to predict the same scoreline again. So for me, Chelsea will win 4-0 against the Foxes. Spurs versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth have been in great form recent weeks, but at the same time, they have dipped in the last couple of games. Spurs, of course, just lost to Man City, but were showing some good form, winning 3 games on the bounce. I'm going to go for a Spurs win. I think they'll just about nick it, and it's going to be a 1-0 victory. Now, this is a big one. Traditionally, this would be regarded as a huge game, but unfortunately, it's not the same level of teams that are facing each other. Manchester United, who are currently 15th, against Arsenal, who are second. Of course, Arsenal doing a lot better than the opponents there, but the game doesn't really have that same magnitude, and over the years, it's not really lived up to the bill. I'm going for a draw. I think it's going to end a 1-1 draw at Old Trafford. And the final fixture, West Ham versus Newcastle. I think this will end with West Ham pulling off a surprise win. And I'm going for a 2-1 victory for the Hammers. So that is my prediction for match week 28. And that is also the end of the shows. So thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now, in terms of upcoming content, as I mentioned earlier on, there is no Premier League fixtures this weekend. That will resume the following weekend. So what we'll do other content in the meantime. Next show will take place on Tuesday, as I'll do a match preview of PSG versus Liverpool in the Champions League, and then I'll also do a watch along of that game on Wednesday night, plus a match reaction show. And then on Thursday evening, I will be doing a match preview of Liverpool versus Southampton, which is of course a Premier League fixture. And then we'll do a live watch along of that game on Saturday, plus a match reaction as well. So lots of shows coming next week. So feel free to hit that notification bell. And if you haven't already and you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care, stay safe, and I hope to speak with you all very, very soon. Goodbye.